Hey, how's everybody doing? Thanks for being on. Just want to say good luck to Nate and the boys tonight in South Carolina. We're just really excited that this is finally game week for us. It's, I've said it before, and most of you know this is the 25th anniversary of Alabama softball. So this is a very special year for us. It's the silver anniversary, and you're probably going to hear me tell a lot of stories this spring from years past. So we're just ready to go, and Team 25 is very excited.
All right, start things off with Michael.
Hey, Coach. I was wondering about the roster makeup of this team. How many more do you normally have, and what's that dynamic like having a freshman class come in and a senior class not leave?
Well, it's 22, which isn't bad, and I think in years past I would have done anything for 22 on the roster because of injuries and everything that goes on during a long season. So I think this is actually it might be the perfect number for us. So I'm happy with that. We did some infield drills last week, and we literally had 2 at third, 2 at short, 2 at second, 2 at first, 2 catching, and it's been a long time since we've had that depth. Mac, she can play all 3 outfield positions, but she came into second base last week, and it was like she'd been there her whole life. So we've got some really good athletes. I appreciate that. Claire Jenkins can play all 4 infield positions. Savannah Woodard can play all 4 infield positions in left field. Taylor Clark can play all 4 infield positions. So we've got really good athletes. And, the name of the game is competition, and that's literally what Mac just said. So I was proud of her for that. And when I do the lineup or, determine who's going to play, it's usually who's hitting, and then we try to figure out, it's a puzzle. Where do those 9 pieces of the puzzle fit the best defensively? And if you can play more positions, you have a better opportunity to be in the starting lineup.
All right, go to Robert.
Hello, Coach. Could you just describe to me how exciting it can be that your opening weekend of the season will have a postseason and World Series feel to it?
Oh, I was talking to Buddy Monday, and I think this is the best tournament in the country this weekend in Austin, Texas. And I really like going to a campus site. So we get to go to Austin. We get to, go to the campus of the University of Texas. And it's going to feel like an away game when we play them. I really like that. Now, the tournament last year in Clearwater was just an incredible tournament. But it's at a neutral site, and it's a little bit different feel. So this is a good opportunity for this group to, the very first weekend, you get to play number 3 Arizona, you get to play number 6 Texas. Colorado State was a great team 2 years ago, made the in-state tournament, just hit the ball like crazy. So I know they're going to be good. So we have 5 games against probably NCAA tournament teams this year. And, why not? You learn a lot more when you face really good teams than when you steamroll everybody.
I'll go back to Michael.
You just wondered how's Montana Fouts doing?
She's doing good. She adds a couple more pitches to her arsenal. Steph's done a really good job with her all fall. I think, one of the best things really for everybody was there was a little bit of a break, especially for pitchers this summer. So there really wasn't anything to do. Nobody was playing anything. So they rested their arms. They stayed in shape, but they did rest their arms, which is a good thing. So I think she's ready to go. She's excited. And I can't wait to see her pitch again.
All right, we'll go to James.
I just wanted to know about Abby Dorr. Last year, she kind of came in and, kind of got thrown into the fire right away. What's it like to have her now for a little bit longer of time to work with the pitching staff and kind of gain an idea of every single pitcher?
It's unbelievable, the difference. She was here for, a month, and we shut down. But just to see her grow from August to now is unreal. And, now I can see why a lot of football programs redshirt a lot of their freshmen, to get them more mature, acclimated to college, studying the whole thing. And we talked about it a lot, where the freshmen, they kind of get a mulligan. They get to start over, they get a fresh start. But Abby, Jenna, Alexis Kilfoyle, and Savannah Woodard, they're totally different kids this year. It's like you guys would be amazed at practice. They're used to me now. They're used to our strength coach. They're used to how practice is run. Their time management skills are much better. Their grades were better this year. So it's the difference between Abby today versus Abby last year at this time is huge.
All right, Brett Greenberg, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, Brett Greenberg with Tuscaloosa News. Appreciate you taking this time. You spoke a little bit about the 22 roster and all these newcomers coming in, and mentioned a little bit about redshirt. And who, if any, has kind of stuck out to you with the new freshman class that came into this 2021 year?
I'd say, Bailey Dowling was very highly recruited, a young lady from Champaign, Illinois, shortstop, second base, just a great athlete. She's probably, in terms of body awareness, she's right at the top. Like, you can tell her, one little thing about a technique, and she makes the change immediately. It doesn't take 5 or 6 times. She does it right away. So her body awareness is just really, really good. And she's got a lot of pop. I think you'll see a lot of power from her. The pitchers have been great. Jayla Torrance, she stood out in the scrimmage Sunday. We did like a 9-inning scrimmage, and some pitchers threw for 5, some pitchers came in and threw for 4, and she was terrific with her outing. So, I'm pleased with everybody. Kat Grill, a young lady from ACA just down the street in Tuscaloosa, she's getting better and better. So the plus of these seniors that got to come back, and Max said it before me, is they're teaching each other. And this is one of the coolest things to see is, when a player teaches a player, it means a lot. And that means they're taking ownership of the program, and they're taking a leadership position, and they're sharing knowledge. And, really when it comes down to it, they're sharing with a younger kid, knowing full well that that younger kid could improve and eventually take their spot. And they're still doing it, which is rare nowadays that kids do that. But I'm really proud of the older ladies that are continuing to do that day in and day out, because they know that the team's going to be better.
Go back to Robert.
Hey, Coach. You hit on it earlier. You're going to be going against teams with great lineups. So with that, regarding the pitching staff, how important do you think it is to get freshmen Jayla Torrance and Alex Salter some innings in this opening weekend?
Yeah, we're going to see right away for sure, because I think it's Colorado State at 10:30 Friday morning, and then Texas at 3:30. So we play 2 games on the first day, 2 games on Saturday, and then 1 game before we come home on Sunday. So those 4 games, the first 2 days, that's a lot of softball to start with, and good teams, because we play Texas twice in Arizona. So, our depth hopefully is going to help us. There's a different look from everybody. I think Salter has a lot more spinny stuff versus other people. Jayla throws hard. Obviously, Montana throws hard. Kilfoyle has an awesome drop ball. Crystal Goodman has an awesome changeup. Sarah Cornell has a great screwball. So they all kind of complement each other. And we're going to try to figure out which opponent can't hit what pitch. And then that's probably how we're going to start people this year, and go matchup to matchup, and then see what happens.
William Galloway, go ahead.
Coach, obviously with COVID and everything, have y'all been staying safe? And I'm sure there's a good plan in place, having especially a big roster, but is everybody good to go this weekend? Have y'all been good?
Yes, and I was going to mention that everybody got tested within our Bama softball family Monday. Everybody came back negative this morning, and then we're going to take one more test tomorrow, and then we'll get the results Thursday morning, and then everybody would be good to go Thursday afternoon. So that's what we'll do all year long. We'll get tested on a Monday after a trip or a weekend, test again on Wednesday, and then we either get the okay, hopefully, Thursday morning, and everybody can go on the road trip.
We're back to Robert.
Coach, you start off the season with a great tournament and it doesn't get easier from there. With that, traditionally you've always shuffled the lineup sometimes. Does that look to do that again, or do you want to find a more solid lineup and try to have it find an identity early in the season?
No, I think, if you guys have followed me, like a lot of you guys have in years past, I don't know what the number was, but if we play 56 games, it could be, 45 different lineups. But I think, you're on the team for a reason. You deserve an opportunity, and then you take advantage of the opportunity when you get it. So we will play everybody because I got to see everybody in a tight situation to begin with. So bases are loaded, one out. I want to see what a freshman does in that situation, because later on in the season, if we need a pinch hitter, I'm going to remember how she reacted the first time. And, anybody can hit with nobody on and nobody out. I mean, all of us could get up and possibly get a hit. But what are you going to do with second and third and 2 outs in the 7th inning and we need 2 runs to win a game? Or bases loaded and 1 out and, we need a couple runs. That's when you find out who can hit in a pressure situation, who do you want up at those times. And if you never give the new kids those opportunities, you'll never know. And what I don't want to do, which I did earlier in my career, we were down a run or 2 in a regional game late in the year, and I pinch hit somebody that hardly hit it all year. And no fault of hers, she just wasn't ready. So I got to make sure that everybody's ready for those opportunities. They have to be ready themselves, but mentally they have to be put in these situations to see, okay, can this kid, does she have the clutch gene? And Jenna Johnson has been coming through like crazy in scrimmages, and I think she has it. I compared her to Kelly Kretschman the other day, just as a gamer type kid. It's really fun to watch, and when you get those, you remember who they are for sure, because it's like, every dang time they come up with runners in scoring position and they get to hit. So I'm looking forward to finding a couple more like that.
All right, might have time for a couple more questions here, but we'll go now to Eric Lopez.
Coach, just talk about being in this showcase tournament in Austin with the field the way it is, Arizona, Texas. I mean, for so many softball fans are going to be watching this tournament that haven't watched softball in a long time. This is like the featured tournament of the weekend. Extra pride in that you're in this marquee tournament here to start the season after such a long layoff for softball fans watching softball?
Yeah, definitely, and good to see you this morning, Eric. We had our Longhorn Network call on Monday, and it was like, oh my gosh, this has been a year since we've had one of these TV calls going through the tournament and the lineup and stuff like that, and it was so much fun to see Amanda Scarborough and Michelle Smith. It was like I almost had to ask Nathan, what do I do, because it's been so long. But no, it's going to be a great weekend. I'm really happy that Alabama is allowing us to do this, to travel to Texas and play in a really, really good tournament, 3 teams in the top 10. So, and we're looking forward to continuing this rivalry with Texas because it's awesome. It's a quick trip to Austin. We're both in the Central Time Zone. 2 really, really good softball programs, and they're going to come to us next year. So we're going to continue this rivalry with them, and hopefully it'll just keep going back and forth because it's a win-win situation for all the teams in the tournament, not just Alabama and Texas, but for everybody.